Will Venable blasted the Padres' 6-game leadoff homer of the season last night. It was the 4th of the year for Will. '23-year-old Matt Latos goes for career win number 25 today. Latos has held opponents to a .211 batting average this season. The only thing that can come between the brotherly bond is a Mark Grant souvenir baseball. Good Sunday afternoon to you, and welcome to Petco Park. This afternoon, it is the third and final game of the series between the Padres and the Colorado Rockies. We welcome you in. Mark Neely with Mark Grant and Bud. Aaron Cook has scuffled this year, the Rockies starting pitcher, but historically, he has been nails against the Padres.
It's probably a pretty good bet that you can call Aaron Cook the top chef. Get it? Cook, chef,
yes.
And cooking up some Padre bats over the course of his career, because this sinker baller is a guy who gets a lot of ground balls, and over the course of his career, he has been dicing up those Padre hitters. His career against the San Diego Padres, he's got great numbers, 14-5 career against the Padre team. And when it comes to Petco Park, which is a pitcher's ballpark, he is 7-3, so the winningest pitcher, any visiting pitcher here at Petco Park. So they got to get that sinker up. In the last few games for Aaron Cook, the sinker hasn't been sinking up in the zone, and that's why you see the numbers right there. Hopefully the Padre bats can come alive and keep these numbers at the high level that we see here.
Yeah, last 6 starts have not been great for Cook. He began the season, missed the first 2 months on the disabled list with a broken finger, and an ERA over 7 in his last 6.
And the one thing that sticks out also about Aaron Cook, a lot of extra base hits. So if the Padres can work the lines, foul pole to foul pole, and split the gaps, get an early lead from Matt Latos, take their chances that way.
So let's take a look at that full pitching matchup for this afternoon. It is indeed Aaron Cook going for the Rockies. His first 2 starts this season after coming off the DL in June were both against the Padres. He lost one and received a no decision in the other. And Matt Latos, his last win came August 7th at Pittsburgh. Since then, 2 losses and 2 no decisions. The pitching matchup is brought to you by Discount Tire, where America saves on tires. And Latos and the Padres look to salvage a game of this 3-game series. And the lineups and first pitch are straight ahead. Of the series between the Rockies and Padres. Look from Skycam across to Coronado and inside Petco Park. Here's the Colorado Rockies lineup for this afternoon, brought to you by the Prize Patrol, presented by Jerome's Furniture. Text winning to 269-411 to enter. Once again, it's Fowler leading off, who comes in with a 4-game hitting streak. He has 4 hits in this series. 3 of them have gone for extra bases. Mark Ellis gets the start at second. With Cargo in right, Tulowitzki is the shortstop. Jason Giambi Starting for Helton at first base with Seth Smith in left. Kevin Kuzminoff at third. Former Padre Eliezer Alfonso will catch today, catching Aaron Cook. Padres starting pitching profile is brought to you by your San Diego County Cadillac dealer. Stop in today for an attractive lease or purchase offer.
For Matt Latos on the season, almost 3.5 runs of support. And that's the 7th lowest mark among all qualifying NL pitchers. I think a key today for Matty is to finish off the hitters. We've seen a lot of 0-2 counts. Put those hitters away and avoid the 3-2 count.
Keep that pitch count down.
Yeah.
Homemade sign time.
Love it. Let's go Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo. Yeah, he's patrolling first base today.
Yeah, a couple of moves made. Darnell is back, as is Anthony Rizzo. Checking out the high sky. Now, Bud Black has said that Jesus Guzman will still see most of the time at first base, even with Rizzo back. Guzman, though, in left field today.
Yeah, you got to keep that bat in the lineup, so he's in left field today, as you mentioned. Here's Guzzi.
Fowler ready to go, so are we. First pitch inside, ball one, and we are underway in Petco Park. 71 degrees and mostly clear skies at game time on this Sunday. Did he go? Yes. Third base umpire Laz Diaz. Jim Tracy. His Rockies come in at 66 and 73. Despite losing 5 of their last 8, they have won the first 2 games of this series. Fowler fouls it off.
Going to have to keep an eye on the velocity of Matt Latos early in the ball game, rather than easing into that 95-96. I think one of the things the Padres would like to see is Matt Latos right out of the gate at 95-96 rather than easing into it. Last pitch was 92.
Another 92-mile-per-hour fastball that's inside.
It's like Nuke LaLoosh said in Bull Durham. I want to announce my presence of authority. I want to bring the heat.
Is that a natural response to a starting pitcher to think, in essence, long-term and going deep into the game and maybe not airing it out from pitch one?
I think it depends on the pitcher. I think Matt Latos is young enough and strong enough. I mean, he's a horse to where he could go right out of the gate with that aggressiveness and still take you deep into the game. But I'm sure there are starting pitchers out there that, yeah, they pace themselves because they want to go deep in the game. It all depends on the pitcher.
2-2 to Dexter Fowler leading off the game. Well, there's already a full count.
Yep.
And 7 pitches into it. High fly right center field with a lot of real estate out there. And Venable makes the catch to begin this game. The Padre defense, it's Guzman, as we talked about, in left, with Will at center and Hermida in right. Perino getting the start at third. Rizzo back. He's at first. And Bartlett and Hudson, the combination up the middle. And Luis Martinez catches today.
Hey, some guys getting some opportunities, huh? Nick Hundley getting a breather. Anthony Rizzo continuing to swing a hot bat in Tucson, so he's back at the big leagues. Hopefully he can carry it over. And Perino getting another start at third. The adapter. Call him the adapter because, you know, like when you go to Europe, you got to have those different adapters to adjust
electricity,
to the,
yeah.
So you can plug him in anywhere. Hey, you know you're in the big leagues when you've got the sweet Oakleys working. I hope those are Oakleys. Or the eye black for Anthony Rizzo. Going with the paint roller.
Is that how that's applied? Line right center field, but Hermida. A couple of balls hit fairly well by the Rockies, with Fowler and Ellis retired, and bases are empty for Carlos Gonzalez. You know, when you get to a Sunday day game, travel day, Rockies are heading back home after the game. Interesting to see the lineup. You're thinking, okay, who's going to get a day off? Will it be Carlos Gonzalez or Tulowitzki? The answer, no, to both of those questions. Helton does get a day off. Iannetta from behind the plate. But their main 3-4 in the order right back in there.
You know, and I don't know Carlos Gonzalez. And I don't know, I've talked to Troy Tulowitzki. The point here is that just knowing their personalities and the type of players they are, their off days are the scheduled off days. They want to play every game. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that has to be the mentality.
Yeah.
You have to be angry when you come out of the lineup.
Right. And I'm sure Chin Tracy, you know, he knows what he's doing down there as far as giving his guys days off. They'll get plenty of days off when needed. I'm sure, like you said, Tulowitzki looks at the lineup card and said, hey, Skip, why am I not in there? Well, I want to give you a day off. And he'll probably respect that.
Carlos Gonzalez played 145 games last year in that breakout season. So far this season, this is game number 119 for him, game number 140 overall for both these clubs. 1-2.
And this is game 135 for Tulowitzki.
Got him to chase that slider in the dirt. We'll go down in order. Well, a sunny Sunday, and even the camera guys, John Bruno, having to adapt. Nice look, Bruno. University's Homers for Heroes. If any Padre in today's lineup hits a home run, Ashford donates $2,500 to Operation Homefront. Guzman playing in left field, still cleaning up, hitting .467 in his last 4. Venable began yesterday's game with a home run. 4th time he's done that this year. Only Ian Kinsler of Texas, who's hit 6 game leadoff homers this year, and Corey Hart of Milwaukee with 5. I've hit more of those this year than Venable. Our starting pitching profile is brought to you by Bank of America, setting opportunity in motion in San Diego to help our community and economy.
32-year-old right-hander Aaron Cook, look for the sinker. Occasional slider. Got good sink to it. A lot of ground balls as well out of the hand of Aaron Cook. Recently, though, we talked about in the pregame show, he's been getting that sinker up.
Line right at the first baseman, Jason Giambi. Well struck by Will. The one gone. Here's the Rocky defense, brought to you by North County GMC, a Southern California tradition for over 20 years. Smith, Fowler, and Carlos Gonzalez in the outfield. Kuzmanov, Tulowitzki on the left side. It's Ellis and Giambi on the right, with Eliezer Alfonso catching.
You know, it might be a case today for the Padre hitters to where you look sinker all the time, and then if it's a breaking ball, you just spit on it, unless you're trying to protect with 2 strikes. Because when Aaron Cook is on with that pitch, it's like hitting a shot put.
1-0 pitch to Jason Bartlett. He hits on the ground. In at the edge of the grass was Kuzmanov. He fields and throws him out. 2 away in the Padres first.
A lot of grounders when he is on over the course of his career, which is 10 years all at the Rockies. 72.5% of ground balls on those outs. That's pretty good.
That'll get you the label ground ball pitcher. No Rocky has worn their uniform more as a pitcher than Aaron Cook.
When you're talking outs, pitchers getting outs, this kind of quantifies those numbers. Last season for Cook, he induced 265 ground ball outs compared to 92 fly ball outs.
2-0 on Orlando Hudson, batting in the 3 spot today. 251 average, and the numbers pretty similar from each side of the plate. 249 left-handed. And from the other side, right-handed, 255. Four-pitch walk. 2 out free pass to Orlando Hudson. He becomes the game's first base runner. Well, maybe Sunday is win day for the Padres. You look at the Rockies on Sundays this year, they're 4-17.
Yeah, I remember the Rockies were here last time, and the last time they won a Sunday game was like back in April. They were like 0 for their last 14 or 16 Sundays.
Well, they've won only 4 times, 21 Sundays this year. Padres on Sunday, 12-10. 5 straight out of the zone from Aaron Cook.
Well, sometimes Aaron Cook is the guy who's going to walk maybe 1 hitter, and then there are outings when he'll walk 5. Sometimes that sinker ball is working itself out of the zone.
See if Hudson has ideas of running here with 2 outs. Two-hit game last night for Guzman with a couple of RBIs. Takes a strike. Our comparison is brought to you by the San Diego Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. No runners on base. Still pretty respectable for Guzman. Runners in scoring position, 431. And just with runners on base, like he is here with a runner at first, hitting 364 this year. So that's enough of a sample size for Mima to say, hey, he likes hitting with guys on base. Something comes out.
We talked about it recently about clutch hitting.
Right. .326 overall on the season for Jesus Guzman.
You know, those last 2 pitches, I wanted to hold my thought until I saw those last couple of pitches. But getting back to Guzman, it might be a case of, and we'll have to talk to him about it, but it might be a case to where his mindset is, you know what, I'm going to swing at my pitch, and it sounds so simple, and I'm not going to swing at the pitcher's pitch. Those last 2 pitches were off the plate a little bit, right? Kind of nibbling, and he just spit on him, just down and away, just let him go. Didn't even attempt to offer at him.
Pitch that was up is popped up on the first base side. Giambi battling the sun, and the breeze is going to help pull that into the first row behind the dugout as well.
Now this is a very hittable pitch. 3-1, and Cook throws the slider and hangs it. Hung up there just enough. Sometimes when you hang a slider, it's a good thing.
Full count with 2 outs, so Hudson will be running with the pitch. Looks like Giambi is going to continue to hold him at first.
I know that sounds funny, but the hanging slider, you know what I'm saying? But if it's hung just enough up there, it's hard to get that top hand on it and square it up.
Sometimes a pitch can be so bad it's good.
Exactly, right.
But sometimes bad is bad, to quote Huey Lewis.
Sports, 1984?
Oh, you bet.
Look at this guy.
Reach sends it to the alley and left center field. On his way to third goes Hudson, and runners are at the corners with 2 outs. guy likes hitting with runners on. He went down and got a pitch there.
And, you know, it was a full count, so maybe a different mindset. He knows that he has to protect, right? That was a slider down and away. Front foot hitting. Did you see that? Did you see his back foot off the ground?
Right.
What in the Roberto Clemente is going on there?
Third hit of the series for Guzman. The runners are at the corners. That's in the lead runner. Guzman at first for Jeremy Hermida, the right fielder. A nice spot for Hermida's first hit as a Padre. It drives in Orlando Hudson. 1-0 San Diego. He hit some balls very hard last night, Hermida did, but had nothing to show for it. This time, right back through the box, which was a common theme last night as well.
He's being very aggressive against Cook, too. Why? Well, you want to try to avoid hitting that nasty sinker or that nasty slider. So Jeremy Hermida is all over the first pitch. Great extension. And driving in a run for San Diego. Got to be pressure on guys, right? Either when you get traded or when you get picked up off the waiver wire your first time in a uniform, you want to get that first hit, right?
The natural instinct would be to try to impress and maybe
exactly
to a player's detriment. Trying too hard. Here's Anthony Rizzo back. Well, you look at his numbers at AAA. Rizzo did very well in the Pacific Coast League. .331. 26 homers, 101 RBIs in 93 games.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about the other AAA leagues, right? Pacific Coast League.
There's also the
American Association.
That's now just gone into the International League.
Oh, International.
So now there's just 2 leagues. There used to be 3, the old American Association
right.
as well. Yeah.
But you know what? And without knowing any of the other players down there, this kid's got a chance to be the minor league player of the year, don't you think?
With those numbers, you bet. Three and 0. Pitch count is up to 20 for Aaron Cook here in the first inning. Catches the low outside corner.
Another hitter's count, 3-1. And Cook, his go-to pitch is pretty much that sinker.
Pickoff attempt at second. It skips by Tulowitzki, and both runners advance. Well, there was some daylight there between Guzman and second, and Cook spun and threw in that direction. And it looked like Tulowitzki got hung up a little bit with Guzman there.
Trying to find an out rather than pitching to Rizzo. And you're right, it looks like that ball was thrown behind Tulowitzki. His momentum was going to the bag, and the throw was more to the shortstop side. And then he had to deal with the runner, so a break for San Diego.
Three and 2.
Little cut fastball. That ball almost had slider action to it.
And that's some movement. That throwing error by Cook. The first Rockies error of the series.
You know, that may have been a true slider there. There's another one. First base open, probably, you know, thrown a little wrinkle in one.
Rizzo fouled off a pretty good pitch there.
This is the previous pitch, not the one he just fouled off, but the one that I was guessing slider. Yeah, that's a slider. So back-to-back sliders to Rizzo. You got to think another one's coming here.
High fly to right. Gonzalez backing up and in front of the track. Now to the edge of the track and makes the catch. Rizzo got under it just a bit. Padres do get a run in the first with a couple of hits and lead 1-0 after one. Season tickets today and be entered to win one of 15 great prizes. Today's 15 prizes in 15 games winner, Keith Trahan. He won an autographed baseball from each Padre in the starting lineup on opening day.
Nice.
Not too late to place your 2012 deposit and be entered to win. Call the Padres. The number is 619-795-5555. It's a pretty sweet gift.
Absolutely.
Shortstop Troy Tulowitzki leads off the Colorado second. Padres lead 1-0 thanks to an RBI hit in the first from Jeremy Hermida. .92-mile-per-hour fastball taken for a strike. Tulowitzki comes in today in the top 10 in the National League, really in the three primary offensive categories. 10th in hitting at 305. 9th in homers with 28, and 4th in RBIs with 97. Breaking ball outside and off the mid of Martinez.
You know, the bottom line with Tulowitzki, he can hit anywhere, huh?
Yeah, no doubt.
You talk about his career home run total. Everybody says, oh, he hits in Coors Field. Well, you know what? He's only 12 above at Coors Field.
12 more homers at home than
on the road. Yep.
Hot shot to third, picked by Perino. One gone. Nice play by Andy Perino at the hot corner. Start today at first base for Jason Giambi. Game number 57 for Giambi. Maybe a hair low, ball one. Giambi played in 87 games last year with the Rockies. Fouls it back left side. His name came up in some trade talks before the July 31st deadline without waivers came and went. And he flat out said, hey, Rockies, if you want to trade me, that's great, but I want to come back next year. So he made perfectly clear to Dan O'Dowd, their GM, that if you do deal me, that he wanted to return to Colorado in 2012.
He's getting to the point in his career where it's the downside of his career, so he knows his role. He's going to get a start every now and then, but he's that big bat off the bench late in the game. If you're looking to tie the game or a 2 or 3 run shot, yeah, Giambi's your guy. It's kind of like the Matt Stairs of the Padres last year, don't you think?
In many ways. Now, obviously, Giambi bounces it slowly to the right. A second backhanded Hudson will throw him out at first. Giambi, an everyday player for a good chunk of his career, but at this stage,
right?
Yeah, a power bat off the bench. Giambi, who won the MVP in the American League back in 2000 with Oakland.
Speaking of Oakland, you're going to see Moneyball?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I read the book, and when I heard the movie was in production, my first thought was, how are they going to make a movie out of that? Because it's basically a baseball book, somewhat an economics book. That's belted by Seth Smith. The deep center field. Will Venable curling into left center to make the catch on the warning track. So Smith gave it a ride, making a bid for his 16th home run, but Venable ran it down about 390 feet away from home plate. Backs at 5:35, September 17th. The first 25,000 fans receive a Padres long sleeve T-shirt and a pet bandana presented by Petco. After the game, you can enjoy a post-game concert by Mercy Me. Purchase your tickets online at Padres.com.
Long sleeve T-shirts, underrated. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Love long sleeve T-shirts.
Especially here where, the nights can be a little bit cool at times, and a long sleeve tee is a good thing to have.
Plus, keep the sun off your arms. Little,
yes. Keep that UV
thinking
away.
health, reasons.
Bottom three up for the Padres with the second and Andy Perino. Three and one. Three hits in 12 at bats as a Padre for Andy Perino.
There it is. Let's go.
Gets jammed and fouls it down the first base side.
He turned down that inside fastball nicely.
A walk allowed to Perino, the second in the game, issued by Aaron Cook. So the leadoff man on for catcher Luis Martinez.
This is the third stint for Luis Martinez. Who takes the trophy home this year? Is it Wade LeBlanc? 5 times? Or am I missing some? T. Cody.
Blake T. Cody, I think, has been up and down 4 times. Forsythe's been up a number of times, but I think T. Cody has gone back and forth to San Antonio 4 times.
We should get like a little trophy for the player party at the end of the year, like a little airplane on it.
Up and into Martinez.
They get that trophy and a bag of peanuts.
Little airplane bag, yeah. It's appropriate. Of course, there's no charter to Tucson or San Antonio.
No. Oh. Had a mistake to hit there.
Slider?
Yeah. You've seen Aaron Cook pitch a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, sure.
And I know it's only 33 pitches, but as we take a look at this last pitch, that's a hanging slider. Just doesn't seem to be the old same Aaron Cook that we're used to seeing. Pound the zone with that sinker, strike one, and quick outs, right? Guys pounding the ball into the ground early in the count.
Yeah, usually within a couple of pitches.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was back on the bench with a 5-3 or a 6-3 in the scorebook. Two and two on Martinez. You have the pitcher Latos coming up next. Popped up short right. Second baseman Ellis with the glasses on now is called off by Carlos Gonzalez. One out. Let's see if Latos can get Perino over to second here. 5 sack punts on the year for Matt. Bunted right in front of the plate, and the throw down to second high, but in time in the first they get 2. Well, a 2-6-3 double play ends the inning. Third double play turned by Colorado in the series after 2. 1-0 Padres. The concert is free for all fans who attend the September 17th game. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at Padres.com/concerts. Well, this bunt by Latos. Did it hit the front foot? Now hit behind and then spun back into fair territory.
Oh, yeah. You know what? After second look, it looks like it went over his foot, right? Now, where that ball was touched, according to home plate umpire John Hirschbeck, being a fair ball, right? See, it's where the ball's touched. It doesn't matter where the ball has been. It could hit behind home plate, have spin on it, and spin back, and be touched. It's a fair ball.
Looked like plate umpire John Hirschbeck had that one right.
I initially thought that when the ball was bunted and Matty was in the box, that the ball hit his front foot. Therefore, it would be a foul ball, but that was not the case.
Now, the ball can also be in the upper corner of the batter's box and be in fair territory.
Correct, because there's an imaginary line from like the third base foul line going in and to the back corner of home plate. Let me use my tele. Oh.
It's up high. 2 balls and a strike.
So on that bunt play, the old 2-6-4 play.
Indeed, the second baseman Ellis was covering it first. Check, did he? He did. Two and two on Kevin Kuzminoff leading off the inning. Padres leading 1-0 thanks to a first inning RBI single from Jeremy Hermida. Out of play right side.
You know, I have seen that before where a guy's bunting or even on a swing to where he hits so much of the top half of the ball. I mean, it's got to be perfectly done to where the ball actually hits behind home plate and has that top spin and will go out in front of home plate. Oh, you know what? Is that back foot in touch with the line?
Strike 3 call on Kuzminoff. Second strikeout for Latos.
Good location of the fastball by Matt Latos. When you've got the power fastball, 95, 96, you know, a lot of hitters are going to think away, right? Maybe breaking ball away, but he freezes Kuzminoff on the fastball right on the inside corner.
Back-to-back former Padres. Here's Eliezer Alfonso, the catcher. Alfonso in 2009 played in 37 games with the Padres. Hit 175 with a couple of homers, 8 RBIs. He had spent parts of 3 seasons with the Giants prior to that, 06 to 08.
Go, Matt. Bring him up. There you go, Matt.
2-0 strike call. 95 on that fastball, starting to gear it up. One homer for Alfonso this year. His first career grand slam, which came here at Petco against the Padres July 30th.
Bring it, Matt. Let's go.
Keep challenging him with a fastball. If you're going to throw a breaking ball, make sure you bounce it out of the zone. Breaking ball. Nope, fastball.
Well, now nobody on in the Rockies' third. 23rd game
Go, Matt.
for Alfonso.
Come on, get him.
Towards the left side and gobbled up by Perino. Got away with throwing something off speed there.
Yeah.
Slider. When he pulled.
Kind of exposed that front side a little bit. Opened up that front side on that breaking ball and taking all the power out of that swing.
Two outs for pitcher Aaron Cook. First pitch fastball that he is behind, strike one. Cook hitting 161 this year, 5 for 31. Career 153 hitter. With a 2-strike slider. One-two pitch. Strike three on the outside corner with a slider. Third strikeout for Matt Latos, who has set down the first 9 Colorado hitters of this game. Lolita's at the park, where you can enjoy fresh Mexican food and happy hours 7 days a week. By Permadontics, Southern California's premier dental implant center. and by your San Diego County Cadillac dealer. Visit them today for an attractive lease or purchase offer. Is that Kiss After VE or VJ Day? I always get it confused.
I think it was, yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that. I think it was VE Day. Yeah.
So the war wasn't completely over.
Right, right.
Top of the order for the Padres in the third. Well, Venable hit one hard, but lined out right at the first baseman, Giambi, in the first. Lays down the bunt, but a little too close to the mound, and Cook throws him out. One pitch, one out, and for Aaron Cook, who had thrown 35 pitches, 36 actually through the first 2 innings, he gets a kick out here, and that brings a smile to his face. Target's had a hot bat in this series, and really in the last week or so. It's the breaking ball softly to second. Mark Ellis gobbles it up. 2 quick outs.
I want to correct myself. The statue you saw, the sailor, giving the old kiss. VJ Day.
So that was the end right there.
Right.
A day when you could just go around and randomly kiss women. Or as Mud likes to call it, Friday.
August 14, 1945. How you doing? What a great picture that was. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
Seeing it later, but my goodness.
That was in Times Square, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hudson walked and scored in the first, which has been the only run of this game. Breaking ball zipped into the seats. Says, I got it. I'm all right.
Catch that ball?
Got the youngster there, so you got to be paying attention.
Absolutely.
At all times.
That's a heck of a grab, because that ball, when it went into that first throw, there was no carom. I mean, it just it stopped right there.
That's some zip on it. Got his camo uniform on. Hudson hit that foul ball. You knew he was heading into the seat. He's like, oh, look out, folks. Yeah, if you're not behind the screen in that area, you've got to be paying attention at all times, especially looking out for the youngsters. And Hudson gets hit. Hudson and Cook talking back and forth, but done in an innocuous way. That started out around his chin. And then
the right tricep. Just trying to yank it out of the hand. Looked like a two-seamer. Just kind of yanked it a little bit.
So a 2-out base runner, which got the rally going in the first, a 2-out walk. That ball's looped into right center by Guzman. To third goes Hudson. Fowler's throw coming into second. Safe. A double for Guzman, his second hit of the game, and the Padres have runners at second and third with 2 outs.
You know, not only is that a double, that's a hustle double for Jesus Guzman. This guy is unbelievable. A breaking ball goes out and gets it, and as soon as that ball was hit to right center field, Guzman could see that the defense was kind of converging on that ball, and he cut around first base. You talk about a guy cutting a corner with the best of them. I was watching him out of the box. A great cut around first base. And that's the difference between out and safe at second base, because that was a bang-bang play.
That's a quarter of a step was the difference there. Well, Hermida came through with the 2-out hit in the first inning. Takes the first pitch slider for a strike. A base hit in the first, his first hit as a Padre, and first Padre RBI after going hitless in his first 7 San Diego at bats. To the curveball there. I haven't seen a whole lot of curveballs from Aaron Cook yet today.
Twelve to 6. That's a good one. With the runner on second base, Aaron Cook wants to go through him again. 4-3-1, 3-1.
Fouled out a play to the left.
No, the one was bookends, wasn't it? Started with a 1, ended with a 1.
Steal signs here, decisive.
And it looks like that was a fastball.
Yep.
I mean, so many different pitchers have different sets of signs. You always hear about first sign after 2. 4-3-2, 3-1.
Well, went back to the curveball. It was 4-3-2, so I'm saying that third sign is the hot one.
Third sign or first sign after 3?
Or it could be.
Okay, so what do you want to go? First sign after 3?
Let's see what it comes up with here.
Fastball, if it's first sign after 3. Right?
That would be right.
That was a slider.
Grounded up the middle and into right center. Hudson scoring. Guzman in. Jeremy Hermida has knocked in all 3 runs. Well, we might not have the signs figured out, but Jeremy Hermida has Aaron Cook figured out so far.
And Jeremy Hermida, the hits today have been right up the gut. Center of the diamond, a breaking ball away, just out of the reach of Cook. And how about a little 2-out thunder here for San Diego? Orlando Hudson taking one for the team, and then Guzman and Hermida answering with knocks.
Just fouled past first. Yeah, a rally all with 2 outs in the first. Now a rally all with 2 outs here in the third. 3-0 San Diego. Two-hit, 3 RBI game so far for Jeremy Hermida. Rizzo flied to deep right his first time up. He was in the hole 0-2. With 2 strikes in his first at bat, Rizzo saw a steady diet of sliders down and in. About golfed off the ground there.
Kind of a slow swing, too. Kind of felt for it, right? It was almost like he was fooled. Recognized it and just kind of feeling for it. Not the attack that we
was,
usually
let me
see.
foul it off and get another pitch type of swing.
I'll tell you, the Sri Lankans probably watching this game. They like that cricket swing there. Yeah.
Cook still unable to break the wicket. 1-2 count on Rizzo. You ever actually seen a cricket match?
On TV, not in person. Would love to experience one, though.
Of course, they literally take like 3 days.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's fine with me.
You got nothing else going on, huh? Two outs, 2 runs in, and the Padres third. Fastball from Cook on the outside corner and strike 3 call. But a 2-out rally this time for the Padres produces 2 more thanks to Hermida. And after 3-0 San Diego. His major league career by making the final out of a perfect game.
So his final at bat, he made the out of a and that was it.
And that was the end of his career.
Okay.
Interesting one. We'll have the answer a little later.
So by the one of 2 things had to happen. Either there was the last day of the season or he called it quits after that game and said, I'm done.
I'll give you a hint. It was the last day of the season.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Being a baseball fan and know a little history, that kind of.
There is a famous perfect game on the last day of the season.
Right.
You're on to something. Dexter Fowler leading off, top of the order for the Rockies. Leto's curveball down low. To right center field, a long run for Venable. He's going to have to chase it all the way to the fence. Fowler, who can fly to second. He's thinking 3. Stumbled a bit around second, but will be in easily with his 15th triple of the season. And Fowler hurting. Well, you noticed a bit of a stumble around second. I don't know if that happened there or coming into third base.
Great extension, beating the shift. Long run for Venable, and yeah. You know, he doesn't grab anything, because some guys, when they pull a hammy or something, they'll kind of, react and.
Then he grimaced at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would indicate to me that it happened right at coming in here, rounding second, right about there.
Boy, kind of tough to tell, huh?
A 15th triple for Fowler sets a Rockies record for triples in a season.
Oh, his right ankle, he's kind of.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of curled in when he was coming around second base.
Well, now we saw Fowler. Let's focus on the right ankle.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because as he hits, you're right, his body kind of
buckled a little bit.
He's
going to stay in there. Well, that's the first base hit, first base runner for the Rockies today, as Latos had retired the first 9. Second baseman Mark Ellis hit the ball hard his first time, but lined out to the right fielder Jeremy Hermida. First pitch slider, ball 1 high.
There we got the recruits here today. Good to see them in attendance, taking in a big league ball game.
Two and 0. Ellis played in 62 games with Oakland this year before coming over to the Rockies. Ellis traded from Oakland on July 1st. He was the A's longest tenured player at the time of that trade. He was in his 9th season with Oakland. He'd been there since 2002. Well, that reminds me of Moneyball, which we were talking about earlier.
That's right.
About going to see the movie. Yes, I am very interested in seeing the movie. Great foul right side. But my thought was, how do you make a movie out of this? We'll leave it to Hollywood to get Brad Pitt.
Right.
And of course, Hollywood is going to dramatize things a little
Exactly.
more. And it'll be interesting to see how it all came out. You want to go see it?
I'm going to go see it.
Bouncy ball will get Fowler home. Hudson throws out Ellis, who picks up his 16th Rockies RBI, but Fowler touches the plate. And Rockies are on the board. It's 3-1.
Still kind of hobbling a little bit, and I'm sure when we've all twisted our ankles, maybe playing the pickup game of basketball, and you come down from a rebound. At least me, because I was, I was in the paint. I'm boxing
You were down there with
people
the big
out.
boys,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Roll that ankle, man. I tell you what, it takes a while before that starts to settle in and kind of hurt a little bit, swell up.
Carlos Gonzalez gets a breaking ball softly foul past Lynn Allen, the first base coach. Lynn Allen Hill. Gonzalez struck out swinging his first time up. On with a changeup that's low. Carlos Gonzalez in this series is 1 out of 8 with an RBI. Pitch was off speed again, up in his eyes, and he couldn't resist.
Looked like another changeup.
It did look like a changeup. Snow cone.
Those look good, don't they?
Come on, Matt.
Tri flavor.
Yeah.
Bring it, Matt.
Got him looking. Goes back to that fastball at the knees. And Gonzalez strikes out for a second time today.
That is a pitcher's pitch. That is right there at the knees. Downward plane, a little bit of movement, and just frozen pizza right there for Carlos Gonzalez. You can't argue that. That's a great pitch.
Nobody on with 2 outs for Troy Tulowitzki. Fouled at the plate. Came up, got a piece of Martinez. Tulowitzki grounded to third his first time up. Squares and takes outside.
Take the corner, Matt. Come on.
Tulowitzki made it to the major leagues in the shortest span between draft day and his Rockies debut in Colorado history. Took 1 year and 83 days, and then finished second to Ryan Braun in the 2007 National League Rookie of the Year voting.
Bring him up, Matt. Go.
1-2 pitch. Kicks away.
You know, when you look at this inning, Matt Latos 1 strike away from getting out of it. Leadoff triple, right? I think Matt Latos had the right mentality because he didn't nitpick. He went after Mark Ellis. Sure, he played Pepper. He got the run home, right? It's almost like, I don't want to say concede that run, but you don't want to create a big inning. You try to nitpick. You go for the punch out. Next thing you know, it's first and third, and then a little duck snort. They get a run, another runner in scoring position. You know what I mean?
Well, and especially the fact that his offense has gotten him 3 runs.
Exactly. Hey, you give him the run, and then you get Ellis and Gonzalez, and hopefully you get Tulowitzki here.
It has gone full on Tulowitzki, so this is a 3-2 pitch. That one a little bit low with the fastball. You can tell by Matt's reaction he wanted that one, but Tulowitzki a 2-out walk. That one I think was a little bit lower than the one that Gonzalez got rung up on.
I agree with you.
Come on, Matt. Bring him up.
So the tying run at the plate, and Jason Giambi, the first baseman, rips it into right. Tulowitzki down to second, and it's 2 on, 2 outs. The third runner to reach in this inning. Giambi jumping right on the first pitch. He'd end this right here. Here's Seth Smith, who saw 1 pitch in his at bat in the second and fly to very deep center field.
Good first pitch breaking ball.
Gets the curve over for strike 1.
Good number 2 for Matt. Splits the heart of the plate right at the knees. Now that's in the back of his mind, right? Seth Smith, if he gets ahead here, you bounce a breaking ball. Chances are he's going to swing at it.
Ooh. And up the middle for a base hit. Went back to the curveball around third. Tulowitzki, he'll score. And it's 3-2. Back-to-back curveballs, and Seth Smith picks up his 56th RBI to make this a 1-run game.
Too good a curveball. First one split the heart of the plate, and that one. Oh, now we got some chirping going on.
Darren Balsley and plate umpire and crew chief John Hirschbeck joined.
You know, when Matt was backing up on that last hit, backing up home plate, he was walking back to the mound, not looking at Hirschbeck. But Hirschbeck was just locked on to Matt because maybe Matt was saying something to him without looking at him. And there was some exchanges going on there. I don't know whether it was a previous call. Maybe it was the call to Tulowitzki.
Yeah, that he thinks should have been strike 3 in the inning.
But it was low.
Yeah,
I thought it was low. It was a ball. Who knows?
So 2 runs in, tying run at third, or at second, I should say, in scoring position, with the third baseman Kuzminoff up.
Come on, Matt.
Tulowitzki, after scoring, you see him turn back.
Come on, Matt.
You see Hirschbeck, he's jawing at Latos walking back.
Yeah. See it from this side.
It doesn't look like Matt's doing anything there. He's working the cheek leg. It doesn't look like he's, saying anything.
Looks like he's just working the gum and heading back to the mound. Swing and a miss by Kuzminov.
Got to erase all that, right? Got to get the next guy. Got to get out of this inning with just 2.
Come on, man.
2-1 pitch to Kuzminov. Kicks to the right of Martinez. The runners hold. That breaking ball runs it to 3-1.
Come on now.
3 hitters in a row have raced with 2 outs here in the Rockies' 4th. Fouled back by Kuzminov. He got a fastball.
Hey, the last thing you want is to have your pitcher implode here in the 4th inning. You still lead by a run, right?
Full count, 2 outs. Giambi and Smith be off with the pitch. High fly to right, angling to the corner, goes Hermida near the short porch, leaping, and caught it in fair territory. Well, Hermida, who's knocked in all 3 Padre runs today, saves a couple right there with that grab. Today, the Padres welcoming the Lima Company, 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Marines, and DI. First pitch swinging into center field. Perino has it caught by Fowler. 1 pitch, 1 out in the Padres' 4th. A 3-2 game now in favor of the Padres. There was a 3-0 San Diego lead. Catcher Luis Martinez flied to right in his first at bat. pitch strike from Aaron Cook. Nothing in 2. It's the 0-2 pitch softly to short. Troy Tulowitzki fires and gets him by a step. Aaron Cook missed the first 2 months of the season with a fractured finger on his pitching hand, his right hand. Didn't make his debut this year until June 8th, and it came here at Petco. He gave up 3 runs, 6 hits, and 5 2/3 innings. And did not receive a decision. Then he faced the Padres in Colorado June 13th. And the Padres beat him, though Cook only got 1 run of support that night. Latos tried to bunt his first time up, which turned into a 2-6-4 double play.
Matty's got to regroup, huh? Got out of that inning, only had 2 runs cross.
Out of play right side.
Hear that wind kind of kicking up a little bit, huh?
Wind is kicking up.
That's the flag court up top right field. And center, you know, those flags are lower, right? So I would say in the bowl area, the ball field, it's not a big effect.
Well, Latos works it to a full count. Matt making his counterpart work.
Yeah, that's outside the ballpark, right? Hey!
3-2 pitch hits Latos. Didn't look like a fastball, but it still got Matt the upper part of the back. That's the second batter hit by Cook today. He also hit Orlando Hudson on a 3-2 pitch.
Hey, you take one for the team, you flip over the lineup, leadoff guy Venable comes up. That looked like a slider that got away from him.
Like a slider,
out of the
yeah.
hand, looks like it worked around it a little bit. Hey, I don't care where you get hit, it hurts. That hurts.
The lineup indeed rolls over for Will Venable. Latos saying, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all good. Tranquilo.
On the ground softly towards first. Giambi waiting on it. Just got him. Venable out by an eyelash at first. 3 unassisted. Giambi had to think that ball was never going to get to him, and he did indeed just beat him to the bag.
Game recap brought to you by Murray Lamper Construction. Find the truth in home remodeling with Murray Lamper Construction and see why that they're the company to trust. Get online and visit murraylamper.com. Margot.
Thanks, Mud. Rockies come up. What's going on there?
He's got a little fan right there in the bill of his cap. See that?
Yeah.
Motorized fan, keeping him cool.
Like keeping himself well hydrated.
Yeah.
Cool. Sunglasses from Pretty in Pink in the background there. It's a high drive to center field. Venable comes in though. Retires Eliezer Alfonso.
I wonder if that's got a little like solar panel on it or something. I don't know, where would you put a battery on that?
Somewhere in the back. Yeah, let's see if you can turn around. It's got something on the top there. That may be just another button, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got a solar panel. That's really going green at the ballpark. Aaron Cook in the hole 0-2. Hey, it is a solar panel on the top. Nicely done. That's some creativity. Cook, his first time up, struck out. Now to play right side. It stays at 1-2. Padres scored a run in the first. Added 2 more in the third. All the runs knocked in by Jeremy Hermida. The Rockies scored twice in the fourth. And Cook strikes out for a second time. K number 5 for Latos.
Be nice for Matt to have a quick inning here. 8, 9, and 1 after that rocky fourth where 7 hitters came to the plate.
Back to the top of the Rockies order. Dexter Fowler. That is his 6th hit of this series. The fortunate part for the Padres is most of his hits have gone for extra bases in the series. That just a 2-out single.
That on-base percentage continues to creep up for Fowler going into this game. .365.
Yeah, that's a guy who spent some time back in the minor leagues at AAA earlier this year. He was sent down from June 20th to July 15th. Lead by Fowler. Now this moves back from ball 1 inside. Fowler has 10 steals in 19 attempts. Those Padre fans may remember that game in Denver a couple years back when he had 5 stolen bases in one game against the Padres with Chris Young on the mound. Goes up after it, a high drive to left field, but Jesus Guzman right there. Fowler is stranded. That's 3 left on by the Rockies today. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the heart of the order coming up for the Padres.
This inning, $59,500 can be coming your way, but you have to register first at 4sd.com. Get online and register, and good luck.
2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Padres. Bartlett leading off. Jason has grounded to third and grounded to second so far today. Left side again to the shortstop, Tulowitzki. 2 pitches, 1 out in the Padres' fifth.
Number 1, second baseman Orlando Hassett.
Pitch total for Cook at 71. They threw a lot of pitches in the first. But since then has been more economical pitch count wise.
He just didn't look sharp early on.
Hudson has reached base twice. 1 hopper to Giambi, who takes it himself. So on 3 pitches, 2 outs in the Padre fifth.
Number 15, left fielder Jesus Guzman.
Well, when the Padres have scored in the first and third innings today, Cook had retired the first 2 in each of those innings, and the Padres put together a 2-out rally. Let's see if they can do the same here in the fifth with Jesus Guzman up. He helped extend those rallies in the first with a single to left, and in the third with a double to right center. Guzman with the 2 for 2 so far today is hitting .333 now on the year. Two and 1. Over Giambi, just fouled down the right field line. Well, he likes to go the other way down that right field line.
Yep. He's taking a lot of off-speed pitches up the center of the diamond and the opposite way. He uses the whole field, right?
Two outs, nobody on.
See if he gets a breaking ball here away. Oh, sinker that missed. Kind of tied him up a little bit.
Guzman lays off. Taking it away, and it's a 3-2 count. And he works the 2-out walk. So Jesus Guzman reaches base for a 3rd time today.
Well, right now, Aaron Cook is at 79 pitches. 79 pitches rings a bell. Back in July of 08, July 1st to be exact, he threw a complete game shutout against the Padres, 79 pitches. And then he really wanted to be economical. In 07, July 25th against the Padres, 74 pitch effort. So that's when the Aaron Cook sinker was really working, and guys would, they didn't want to get in the hole, so they'd swing early, right?
Right. Now, the most pitches he's thrown in an outing this year is 97. A little bit low, 2-0. Ramita has knocked in all 3 Padre runs. An RBI single to center in the first, and a 2-run single to center in the third. 3-0.
pitchers getting loose in that Rocky bullpen. You see that? Getting the old wings loose. Either that or they're trying to, oh, okay. They got the rubber hosing out. Doing some exercises.
Saw Rafael Betancourt, who's 63, and Matt Belisle. Now back-to-back 2-out walks as Hermida reaches for a third time in the game, and it's going to bring Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, out.
So with Anthony Rizzo coming up to the plate, you got to be taking the strike here, don't you think?
I would think so. Rizzo 0 for 2 so far today against Aaron Cook.
Unless he throws the first pitch that's like right down the middle of the plate and it's right in your nitro zone to where you can do some damage. But I would think Anthony would be making Aaron Cook work a little bit harder here. Control the strike.
Rizzo's fly to right and been called out on strikes. Cook has now walked 4 today, which equals the most walks he's allowed in a start this season. When you throw in the 2 hit batters that he has hit today, that's 6 freebie runners that he's allowed the Padres. Strike 1 on the low outside edge to Rizzo.
2 hit batsmen in this ballgame, as you just mentioned, and last year he hit 4 all season. Hit 2 all season in 09 and 4 in 08.
He hit 3 so far this season. Coming in. Line to second. And Ellis, a step to his left, catches it knee high to end the inning. Couple of 2-out walks. The Padres leave 2 and have stranded a half dozen today. Leading Colorado. Rockies 3, 4, and 5 hitters are up. That means Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Jason Giambi. Gonzalez hacking at the first pitch, fouls it off. He has struck out twice today. Once swinging, once looking. Out of play left side, 0-2. Each team has 4 hits. Fowler has 2 of the 4 hits for the Rockies. Vida has 2 of the 4 hits for the Padres, and that's the 3rd time today that Carlos Gonzalez has fanned. 1 out.
And he goes to the breaking ball there, out of the zone. He has to protect. Watch the tilt on this pitch, up on top of it. That ball breaking straight down. Man, the hat trick for Carlos Gonzalez.
Tulowitzki walked with 2 outs his last time up and later scored in the inning. His only official at bat came in the 2nd when he led off and grounded out the 3rd. Two and 0. Tulowitzki for the series, 3 out of 8. With 3 RBIs. .85 pitches now for Latos. Going up after the high fastball, Tulowitzki fouls it back.
Changing the eye level there, trying to work heaters down. That one up around that Colorado on the chest of Tulowitzki. You smell a slider coming here?
You think down and away?
So many things you can do here. Fastball in, fastball in. That's why it's so important to locate the fastball, because it keeps hitters guessing. Fastball in, no breaking ball.
Reaches for it. A little flare towards center, but racing in, caught by Venable.
That ball looked like it hung up there, didn't it?
I thought it was going to drop in front of Venable off the bat, but it just stayed up.
And maybe that ball off the bat, as you take a look at the swing of Tulowitzki, maybe some backspin. Did you see the barrel of the bat hitting down on the ball?
A lot of backspin.
Backspin, so therefore maybe hanging up there for Will to make the catch.
So Latos retires Gonzalez and Tulowitzki. Base is empty for Jason Giambi, and a first pitch breaking ball is a strike. Giambi singled in the 4th. His first time up, he grounded out to Orlando Hudson. Giambi behind the 95-mile-per-hour fastball. One-two pitch. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Latos, who sets him down in order. Matt is now fanned a half dozen today. The Padres lead by 1 at the midpoint of the 6th. Subway is celebrating summer with the savory flavor of barbecue pulled pork. Now, when you buy a Subway barbecue pulled pork sub and any drink, you can celebrate with a free bag of Lay's chips. An offer this week won't last long. Subway, eat fresh. From Sunset Cliffs into Petco Park, 3-2 San Diego, bottom of the 6th. Mark Neely along with Mark Grant and our Channel 4 crew. Bottom 3 up for San Diego. Andy Perino, the third baseman. Takes off the plate outside from Aaron Cook. One hopper to the second baseman, Mark Ellis. Cook has allowed the leadoff man to reach only one time today, and that's when he walked Perino in the second. But then Andy was erased in a double play. Catcher Luis Martinez. Strike one. Luis is flied to right and grounded to short.
Looks like they got a close one going in San Francisco. 1-0. Giants D-backs.
Top of the 7th in San Francisco. Strike 3 called to Martinez.
Looks like he gets the, that's an elevated sinker, but still tremendous movement from Cook.
Watch the way he caught that ball in the inside corner and the ball came down.
Yeah.
Rito's hit by a pitch his last time up, got hit in the upper back on a 3-2 delivery. Right back through the box. It slows down enough, though, that Ellis gets to it and throws him out. I don't think Cook got a piece of that. The bat grounds out. We finish 6. San Diego 3. Colorado 2. Ended his major league career by making the final out of a perfect game, and the answer is the Rockies' catching coach Marv Foley, who made the last out of Mike Witt's perfect game on the final day of the season in 1984, September 30th of '84. Mike Witt, there's Marv Foley, who was a pinch hitter and grounds out to win the game and the season. And Foley retired after the season. That was his final at bat, and it was the last out of Mike Witt's perfect game.
I remember that day. Bob Boone was catching. Did you see that?
Yeah, Marv's now the catching coach for the Rockies. He's I think up the tunnel in the clubhouse at the moment. If we find the marvelous one, as they like to call him, we'll give you a picture of him here at the ballpark today. But the final out of the Mike Witt perfect game. Seth Smith leads off the Rockies' 7th. 6, 7, and 8 hitters against Latos. Latos with a slider. Remember last time up, Seth Smith saw 2 curveballs, and on the second one he slapped it into center field for an RBI base hit. Padres shift 3 defenders on the right side, and it's hit on the ground to the right side. That's fair behind the bag, and Rizzo takes it himself. Smith there showing indeed his pull tendencies right down the line.
Number 15, third baseman Kevin Kuzma.
Into the 7th inning for Matt and 93 pitches.
We'll face Kevin Kuzmanoff. Counts the first pitch back. Right-hander Luke Gregerson, lefty Joe Thatcher getting loose in the Padres bullpen as we're here in the 7th. Latos at 95 pitches.
Well, if you get a chance to watch This Week in Baseball, they do a great piece on Darryl Ackerfeld, what he means to the Padres staff.
In the air to right field, Hermida drifting towards the corner, 2 outs.
And dealing with the pancreatic cancer, the treatments he's been going through, and it was just a nice piece, talking to some of the teammates, coaching staff, and what Ack means, and his feelings towards the Padres organization, how the Padre family, how they have treated him, and his whole journey through this trying time of his life. Great piece.
Ack looking good, got the goatee going again.
And just how Ack is just always positive with the guys, and knows so much about baseball and pitching. It's just a great asset to have Darryl Ackerfeld on the coaching staff for the San Diego Padres.
Eliezer Alfonso takes a curved strike on the outside corner. Fonzie, as we used to call him when he was here with the Padres. Grounded to third, fly to center. Oh-2 pitch. Fouled out a play to the right. Really, the guy in the hat with the glove caught it, then dropped it, so it winds up really where it should be with the youngster.
Isn't that the way it should happen? It should end up in the hands of a kid, right?
Golfed up the middle and into center field, and Alfonso on a 2-strike pitch, singles. Tying run on. The previous pitch went into the seats, had it, no. Had it, and then lost it. Well, yeah, he had control of that one, so I'll give him credit that it's like, all right.
Look at that reaction.
Pitcher spot due up, and Ryan Spilborghs pinch hits for Colorado. Fastball that he's behind at 95 miles per hour.
Matty still has the giddy up here in the 7th on pitch number 101.
Back to the fastball, fouled back. Latos has thrown 13 consecutive strikes now. 11 in this inning, all 11 in this inning.
Come on, Matt.
Well, he strikes out. Spilborgh's lunging on the breaking ball. Coming up, the San Diego Hyundai dealers' 7th inning stretch. Get more MPG, more value, and double the warranty. Shop online at SanDiegoHyundaiDealers.com. Score brought to you by Discount Tire, where America saves on tires. Braves trying to cool off those Dodgers. L.A. had won 6 in a row and 11 of 12. They fall to Atlanta 4-3, though Matt Kemp, a 3-run home run for all the Dodger runs. And they're in the bottom of the 7th in San Francisco. Ryan Vogelsong pitching for the Giants. Cody Ross, a solo homer in the first, has been the only run of that game. Those teams have split the first 2 games of that 3-game series, and the Giants began today 6 games behind the first place Diamondbacks.
Vogelsong, having quite a year.
New pitcher for Colorado is Matt Belisle.
4-pitch pitcher for Matt Belisle. Fastball, slider, curve, and a change. Been around a while. A very reliable arm out of that Colorado Rocky bullpen. You know, like Houston Street, who's a strike thrower, right? Rafael Betancourt, who is a strike thrower as well. This guy is always around the plate. 12 holds on the year. High opponent's batting average, though, just under 300 at 296.
Padres come up in the bottom of the 7th with the top of the order up. Venable, Bartlett, and Orlando Hudson. Padres have been out hit 5-4, but lead it by a run. San Diego scored 1 in the first and 2 in the third, all knocked in by Jeremy Hermida. And the Rockies scored 2 in the fourth. Will today 0 for 3. Each time he's put it in play today, he's pulled it to the right side. .93 pitches for Aaron Cook, the starter for Colorado. Went 6 innings, 3 runs all earned, 4 hits, walked 4 to equal the season high, and struck out 2 and hit 2. 2-1 to Will Venable. Pulled foul to first. When this one is finished, the Rockies fly home. They take on Arizona in a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night at Coors Field, while the Padres will have the other side of the NL West race in their backyard with the Giants here tomorrow. 105 game. We're on the air at 1 o'clock tomorrow here on Channel 4. Madison Bumgarner will go against Tim Stauffer. In the air to right. Carlos Gonzalez gets to the warning track and in front of the auxiliary scoreboard makes the catch.
Force field got him. Off the bat, did you think he maybe had a chance?
Outside chance.
Yeah.
But maybe if he pulled it a little more, he'd find the short porch.
And quite honestly, not the same type of swing and sound as off the bat the other night.
No, right.
Leading off the game last night.
When he hit one out. Well, Bartlett, you see the 3 ground outs. One's gone to second, one to short, one to third. Fouls that back to the screen. Lyle's fastball in the dirt. Jason had a 3-hit game, the first game of this series on Friday night. Right-hander Matt Belisle.
He's one of those valuable guys that a bullpen can use because he gives you innings. You know? This is a guy who totaled slab 76 times last year, 92 innings.
He's been around since 2003 when he made his major league debut for Cincinnati. Spent parts of 5 seasons with the Reds. Now in his 3rd season with the Rockies. Goes to the breaking ball and strikes out Bartlett on the curve, 2 outs. The Skycamp shot is brought to you by Mossy Ford and Mossy Toyota. Visit us in Pacific Beach or online at mossy.com. Good looking Sunday going on here in San Diego. Hudson bounces it softly up the middle. The shortstop Tulowitzki cuts it off, and Belisle sets the Padres down in order. This game will move to the 8th for Petco Park. San Diego leads Colorado 3-2. Enjoy free stretch run admission, free reserve seating, and a free program. Plus, enjoy half-price domestic draft beers, sodas, and hot dogs at select concessions. Latos' day is finished. He went 7 solid innings and gives way to Chad Qualls.
Nice job today by Matt Latos. He leaves the ball game leading by a run and hoping the bullpen can seal it up for the young right-hander. Chad has worked scoreless ball in each of his last 9 outings. That's over 9 innings pitched. And he leads the team with 67 appearances. So out there for the 68th time. And Chad pitched an inning last night in the 8th. 2 strikeouts. Had that turbo sinker working.
Yeah, he struck out Tulowitzki and Helton last night. He's been off reached on an error. Then he got Spilborgs to end the inning. So the final line on Latos: 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits. He walked only 1, and he equaled a season high with 8 strikeouts. He also fanned 8 back on June 21st at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. Top of the order, Dexter Fowler has been a tough out in this series. He takes a strike. He has 2 hits today, 1 a triple. He is 6 for 11 in the series. Nothing in 2. We saw a lot of sinkers from the starter for Colorado, Aaron Cook. Now we're going to see our share here from Chad Qualls.
And a little bit more velocity from Chad Qualls with that sinker.
Fouled right near the
ugly finder. John Bruno is working that camera down there. Ugly finder.
By the way, Barbie wants her sunglasses back. Yeah, those.
Yeah.
See you in the dream house later. Line into left field, and Fowler is on again. His 3rd hit of the game.
Unbelievable. Taking that sinker down and away the opposite way. Oh, 2. Just not off the plate enough. Trying to keep the ball away. 2-seamer. Good hitting by Fowler.
So he's 7 for 12 in the series, and he represents the tying run with nobody out in the top of the 8th. See what Mark Ellis has on his mind here. He wants to bunt. Lays it down and falls. Feeds Hudson, who was a little bit tardy getting over there, but did get there in time. A 1-4 sacrifice bunt for Ellis, and Fowler down to second. Qualls had to lead Orlando Hudson there. That wasn't an easy throw.
Sinker, and everybody's on the move. Chad Qualls, it's almost like leading Orlando Hudson. He throws that ball over the bag. As you mentioned, Hudson got the job done, but a little tardy getting over there to first base.
Tough duty here. Carlos Gonzalez with Tulowitzki on deck in the tying run and scoring position. Gonzalez has fanned 3 times today, all 3 times up. Goes after the first pitch softly. Hudson makes the exchange. He got him at first.
Nice play.
I'm sure somewhere as he was coming in on that ball, Hudson was having to decide if he was going to barehand that ball or use the mitt. Decided he had enough time to make the exchange and made a good play, as you said. It's going to bring up Tulowitzki and brings us to our leaderboard, brought to you by Los Primos, home of the Monster Burrito. Get your $5 meal deal for a limited time only. Since 2007, Tulowitzki leads all Major League shortstops in RBIs with 429. Johnny Peralta second on that list. That's a name I didn't expect to see, number 2. You also have to keep in mind in that stretch, Tulowitzki only played 101 games in 08 and 122 last year. Tulowitzki hitting .361 this season with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He's in the hole 0-2.
You know, Chad Qualls missed with that last pitch. He wanted it down and away. There was a slider that leaked on the inside part of the plate, but Tulowitzki actually turning away from that pitch, and Chad Qualls getting the called strike.
Qualls steps off.
See, now, put yourself in Chad Qualls' situation here. You've got a great hitter up at the plate, right? You've got 2 strikes. You really don't want to, if you bounce one, you take the chance of it getting back to the screen.
Luis Martinez, nice job to keep it in front.
We've heard of the turbo sinker. That was the turbo slider from Chad Qualls, down and away.
Rockies with a tying run at third and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Cleanup hitter Troy Tulowitzki 0 for 2 today with a walk and a run scored. Qualls 1-2 pitch. Off the low outside edge. 97 miles per hour from Qualls.
Yep.
Two. Tulowitzki fouled off a good pitch. Slider.
Everybody's thinking about this pitch. Chad Qualls off the mound. Tulowitzki out of the box. Luis Martinez thinking about what he's going to put down. So let's take a sneaky peek. Fastball in, sinker in, slider away. Slider away.
Ground ball to the shortstop, fielded by Bartlett. And Qualls works around the leadoff base hit by Fowler, and the Rockies strand the tying run at third. It remains 3-2 Padres. The Padres take on Arizona at 7:05. Get here early. First pour is at 4:30. And you can come drink great beer from 25 local breweries. Admission is free with the purchase of a game ticket. Visit Padres.com/Oktoberfest for details. Cleanup hitter, Jesus Guzman leading off. Guzman has reached all 3 times up. He takes a strike. Jesus has singled, doubled, walked, and scored once. Hits it through the right side. He's on for a 4th time. A leadoff base hit in the Padre 8th.
Nice job by Guzman, splitting the gap there. Going to the right side. Fastball down and away. You know what the bottom line is? He can hit.
And he can. 2 hits last night, 3 more today. It's going to be all for Belial. Good Tracy comes out. This pitching change is brought to you by the Law Tigers, San Diego's motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. A wonderful evening happy hour, 7 days a week. In comes the left-hander Matt Reynolds.
We got some hard throwers in that bullpen for the Rockies. Reynolds doesn't throw as hard as Brothers from the left side. Reynolds is low 90s, fastball slurve, split and a change.
Maben pitch running for Guzman at first base.
So not only to face Hermida, but check out the running game as well, as Reynolds has gone over there back-to-back times.
In a situation with Maben with the wrist, where hitting may still be a bit of an issue, he can run the bases and play defense, and he can stay in and play the outfield.
I just hope he doesn't slide head first.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I'm saying?
Valid point.
Let's see if he does have to slide as a pinch runner, and if he elects to go in head first. Because remember, there's been a couple times this year where he slid in and he kind of went to that wrist and kind of tested it a little bit.
You'd have to think he'd want to protect that wrist in this situation and not suffer a setback, because he's very close from what we hear to being able to come back into the everyday lineup. Hermida takes outside. Hermida has knocked in all 3 Padre runs today. An RBI single in the first and a 2-run single in the third. Heath Bell, who pitched yesterday for the first time in 11 days, up to get in the Padre bullpen.
Ooh, that's close. You know what? Looking at, did you see where he stepped on that, Reynolds?
Very close to a ball.
Yeah. Watch his landing foot. Oh, you know what? That's like right towards home plate. That should have been a balk.
Bunted by Hermida, foul, hitting while in the batter's box.
You know, that batter's box is all chewed up, right, from the hitters. We're in the bottom of the 8th here.
Yeah, the chalk lines.
I think that ball hit a divot and then came back and hit his bat.
Yep, that's what it did.
And then
hit the bat.
Therefore, foul ball.
You don't see that too often.
Look at the spin on that. And once it hits the bat, home plate umpire John Hirschbeck is all over it with the foul ball call. Chewed up it is. That's a combination. There's a lot of clay there, silt, and sand, according to Luke Yoder.
Time requesting as Reynolds was about to deliver.
I think that's a balk.
Think somebody should be chirping on that one?
Yeah, quite frankly.
And 2 strikes. Hermida takes inside. Runner takes off, swing and a miss. That ball eludes Alfonso. Maben on his way to third. The throw there. It's safe. Now that kick off the glove of Kuz, but it stays close enough to Kuzminoff, and Maben holds it third. Now Hermida should be out, and is, because first base was occupied at the time of the pitch. So he strikes out. But the
since it got
wild
away,
pitch,
it's free ball. Live
allowed
ball.
Maben to go all the way to third, right?
Right, first base occupied, swung on a miss, strike 3. Hermida is out.
See, Maben taken off, looking for a straight steal there, and then realizes, hey, I've got a chance for third here. Watch the wrist, man.
Yeah.
So a strikeout wild pitch, and now with Rizzo due up, a left-handed hitter, and a lefty on the mound, the Padres will pinch hit with Kyle Blanks, but that's now going to bring Jim Tracy out of the Rockies dugout, and he'll go get a right-hander. So Matt Lindstrom comes on for Colorado. We'll take a timeout and come back after this. And one out, and the third different bat to consecutively take the hill for the Rockies is Matt Lindstrom.
This guy's a hard thrower from the right side. Fastball up there about 97, 98, also with a slider and a split. So we're going matchups here. Jim Tracy bringing the infield in with the 88 train up there.
Pinch hitter Kyle Blanks, way high from Lindstrom. Matt Lindstrom has followed Matt Reynolds and Matt Belisle to the mound for Colorado today. And the starter was Aaron Cook.
The approach for Lindstrom is harder and harder. Does that make sense?
Oh,
hard
absolutely.
fastball, hard slider, hard split.
95 mile per hour fastball there. Blank's 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year. With insurance run out at third with one out here in the San Diego eighth. It's jammed and fouls it. That last pitch that he fouled. Wow, that fouled off the
You saw that the other day, too.
Lower leg.
Remember?
Yes. One-two pitch to Blanks, the pinch hitter. And fastball fans and 2 outs. And the infield moves back. The batter is third baseman Andy Perino, switch hitter. They'll walk the switch hitting Perino to bring up the right-handed hitting Luis Martinez. Playing the percentages here.
Yep.
Well, Hundley is going to bat for Martinez. So an intentional walk to Perino. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, and now as Hundley comes into the on-deck circle, Jim Tracy comes out. And I think the discussion here is, even though it's second base, you do in theory have a base open here with the pitcher spot due up next. So if you, in a roundabout way, worked around Hundley here, who might you see next off the bench? They've already used Blanks, Hundley, Maben. You have Aaron Cunningham. Darnell's back. Forsythe's been battling an injury.
Right-handed heavy.
Yeah, no lefties available on the bench. Left-handed bats.
So the first pitch will really dictate how they're going to go about facing Nick Hundley, I think. Now, as a hitter here, you got to be thinking first pitch breaking ball, huh?
Definitely. Gonzalez has come into the on-deck circle.
Ooh, fastball down and away, missing.
At 96.
That's a live arm right there, huh?
You bet.
Hey, Nick's been going the opposite way with some authority now. You square up a fastball like that.
Was it foul?
Yeah, just notice about Lindstrom. He's throwing a couple of two-seamers, it looks like, or at least fastballs with two-seam action. That one had some run on it.
Lindstrom spent some time as a closer with the Astros last year at 23 saves. And also spent some time closing with the Marlins. 15 saves for Florida in 2009. Step to third and look to first. Maneuver. Hundley is a pinch hitter this season, 0 for 5. He does have a pinch hit RBI. Oh, and gets hit. That's the third Padre hit by pitch today. 2 from Aaron Cook, the starter. Hundley hit by pitch to load the bases. Another pinch hitter.
Tried to bury it inside, just gets away from him. Now the pressure's on Lindstrom.
Alberto Gonzalez, the pinch hitter. Padres began this game with 8 available bats on the bench. And they've now used half of them. Strike one. This inning began with a base hit to right for Jesus Guzman. Maven pinch ran. Reno intentionally walked. Hundley hit by pitch. A bouncing ball. Second baseman Ellis fumbles. And a run scores. He was going to have to hurry and make a tough play anyway.
I think that's got to be an error.
Yeah, I think looking at that, if he comes up with it cleanly, he should have thrown him out at first.
Gonzalez isn't the swiftest of runners either.
Well, it scores Maben with an insurance run to make it 4-2 Padres. That is an error charge to Mark Ellis. His first as a Rocky. He had 2 in the American League with Oakland earlier this year. Top of the order, and Will Venable. Check swing and a pitch up high at 96. Padres led by as many as 3 early. Gotten it back to a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th. The bases loaded, 2 outs, and the darts outside. 2 balls and a strike on Venable. Sends it to right. Carlos Gonzalez sees it sail over his head. Bounce up against the cock side. This will clear the bases. Venable racing for third. He'll be standing with a 3-run triple. 7-2 San Diego. That's making that arrow really hurt there, brother.
Absolutely. And after an 0 for 4 for Will Venable, coming up with a huge hit to the right center field gap, he went down and got that one. And as I look at Carlos Gonzalez, there's no way Carlos Gonzalez is going to get that ball, but on the fly, he really didn't go after that too quickly, did he? Trying to get that ball in, get to that baseball and get it in as quickly as he could.
That's in the air to right. Gonzalez has this one measured. But the Padres sent 8 men to the plate and add 4 runs, which look like they'll all be unearned. We'll move to the 9th. 7-2 Padres. At 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Padres.com for details. New hurler for the Padres is left-hander Joe Thatcher.
Hey, it's nice for the Padres to put up that crooked number. Big old number 4 in the bottom of the 8th. A little bit of breathing room for Joe Thatcher. A 5-run lead. The Padres breaking out. And how about Will Venable? Smoking that ball to right center field. So Joe Thatcher getting an inning of work.
New battery with Nick Hundley staying in the game to catch. Kyle Blank stays in. He's playing first base. And Cameron Maben stays in, patrolling center field. Giambi pops it up. And the shortstop Bartlett squeezes it. And the Padres 2 outs away from ending this 9-game losing skid. Says Smith singled in a run in the 4th. Venable, by the way, has moved from center to left field with Maben in center. Back to the screen, 0-2. A win today for Matt Latos will be his 25th career Major League victory. And on the season, number 7. Off the outside corner, 1-2. Now the game in San Francisco is in the 9th. The D-backs leading 4-1. Giants may find themselves 7 games back when they're here at this time tomorrow. That's popped up. Backing up, Perino and Bartlett, and the shortstop Bartlett makes the catch, 2 down. Coos gets one more AB here. Maybe, just maybe, the Padres are going to beat Aaron Cook for a 2nd time this year. A guy who's been a thorn in their side for years. Rockies down to the final strike.
Joe Thatcher looks like he's locked in as well.
To Bartlett. Padres win it 7-2 and take the final game of this 3-game series. So the Padres got some breathing room with a 4-run 8th and win it by 5 to take the final game of this series. Rockies still take the series, but San Diego back in the win column, win number 61 on the season for the Padres as Matt Latos wins for the 7th time this year. Nice win for the home team. They take it 7-2. We'll take a timeout, come back and wrap things up from Petco Park, where the Padres go home winners today.